Hello, and welcome back to Dark Cloud. I'm Chance, also known as Moras, and the last episode was a very long time ago. It was in 2018, sorry, we're in 2019. Very long time, if you realize. Basically a lot's happened, and I already explained all of this in a recording roughly 40 minutes long. You know what happened? Power went out. You know what happened? Not only my save was lost because technically I didn't save, so all the progress in the game was lost, but the file was corrupted because the video abruptly stopped. So I'll try to cover everything I talked already. That recording here. So I haven't played video games in a while, and I kind of wanted to basically reinvent the channel. The channel is essentially me playing video games, but I kind of wanted to do that, but also explore other avenues. No, that's incorrect, sorry. I still want to play games for the channel, but I want to play games for the channel for the purposes of, one, an excuse to play games, because that's all I really want, is just to play games and have a reason to do so, which is valid. I mean, I don't really need a reason to play video games, I'm an adult, but with my time, things are limited. Like, for instance, I haven't recorded a video for basically, of Dark Cloud, in basically a half a year. It's not because I don't want to, it's because I have school. So because of school, I don't have time to play video games. It's not a bad thing. I mean, I've learned a lot about game design and the industry and everything. It's great. It's a great thing for me. But the negative, like the con to my time being taken up, is I don't have time to record, but I don't not want to record. You know, I love playing video games, and I love talking about stories and all that. So I kind of thought, how could I do both? You know what I mean? How could I both play video games and still work towards game development? So I kind of thought, why not use the channel for researching purposes? And you might be thinking, researching purposes? Well, for one, in game design, you kind of have to see what other people are doing, so that you, one, don't make the same mistakes as others, and two, get a general idea of what people like, don't like, etc. And also, three, to just get a general idea of what you want to do, like, not copy, but more or less be what you do want to be and what you don't want to be. One of the things I learned in game design is what we are and what we aren't. Basically, if, let's say, I was making a game like Dark Cloud, I would say I would like what we are is Dark Cloud, and what we're not is, I don't know, The Binding of Isaac or something like that. You might be thinking, The Binding of Isaac? This is not like The Binding of Isaac. And you'd be sort of right, because this genre that this game is considered a roguelike game. So a part of the thing I want to do for the channel is also kind of put a little bit more into the research side into the videos as well. So for instance, right in front of me I have a book of my notes that I took, because I kind of thought about like how to convey certain things. I didn't know this was called a roguelike game. I didn't even know that's what this was considered. Originally, like, I didn't even know that was a term. Pathfinder Kingmaker came out with a DLC called Beneath the Stolen Lands, and they called it a roguelike dungeon crawl. And the only thing I could discern was the fact that the game was randomly generated instead of static. And I was like, Dark Cloud is randomly generated. And it kind of got me thinking, like, how certain games are designed and such, and it kind of made me think a bit like, huh, it's kind of interesting. I never thought about it in such a way. You know, like, there's terms for such things. And I also looked up why it's called roguelike. Apparently there was a game called Rogue, and it was a it was a randomly generated game, and it was pretty fun, and it more or less defined the genre as roguelike because the game is called Rogue. Everyone basically said, yeah, that's Rogue. So I figured, okay, I never really heard of roguelike before. As I said, the DLC for that game came out like last week, so I didn't really know that it even existed as a genre. And two, I didn't realize that such more games existed. Like, thinking back, the only games that really were in my head that were like Dark Cloud was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and Dark Cloud. There were no other games that I ever played that were roguelike. And as I said multiple times, Dark Cloud is one of my favorite games. So the fact that that there was a legitimate genre for it, and it had a name called roguelike, was kind of mind-blowing, because I didn't realize that roguelike was a genre. I just figured that Dark Cloud was a flash in the pan, and then like I didn't connect that what I need that for towing. It's sky killing. Still under the weather. If you watched the Metro videos recently, basically still under the weather from then. But yeah, so I didn't realize that roguelike was a genre. The only two games I played were Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and Dark Cloud 1 and 2. And the genre as a whole wasn't popular when I grew up. No one really played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon among my friends. No one ever even heard of Dark Cloud among my friends, except for my cousin. So the game as a whole wasn't popular. And it was kind of interesting to me, and kind of made me think, like, is there a reason for that? And I think it's kind of because people didn't care, or just didn't hear about it. Like, it wasn't advertised as much on at least the American/Canadian front. Maybe it was more popular in Japan, but again, I'm not a Japanese resident. I'm a Native American resident within Canada, so I don't know, right? There's no real way for me to know how the product margin is in such areas. But yeah, so like, it's kind of crazy to think that one of like my favorite games is a genre that I legitimately never even heard/researched about. But it I don't know. It kind of took a game that I've been playing recently to kind of like make me think about it. But the thing is, though, when it comes down to it, Dark Cloud 3 never came out. Like Dark Cloud 2 ended, not ended, but was released in 2003, 2019 now. So it's been 16 years since the game came out and such. Yeah, on the other recorder I found out that I had a weapon for Gaga. Yeah, that's kind of interesting to think about, how roguelikes weren't as popular. I looked it up. I looked up which games were roguelike and such, and the only ones I found were one, Dark Cloud, which was in 2000, then Dark Cloud 2 in 2003, and then Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, which was 2007. And those were the only mainstream games that I recognized. Like, I read through all the names, and none of them I really recognized. For Doom, apparently Doom had a roguelike game. Apparently, the Doom had god damn it. Doom had one, and I think there's a game called Hack, which I'm not sure if it has a correlation to the anime Hack, but if it does, then I know that. But if it's not, doesn't have correlations, then I don't know. But you watching this might be thinking, well, what about Binding of Isaac? Binding of Isaac came out in 2011. That's literally 11 years after this game. Darkest Dungeon. These games kind of all came out after. Came after the internet became a bit more prominent. Yeah, I don't have any repair powder in my inventory. This also happened in the other watch through playthrough. But yeah, so like, think about it. The roguelikes weren't popular on their own, but when the internet came out, live streaming, YouTube, and all that, that's when I started to see like roguelikes becoming more popular because of accessibility. Like, you watch a YouTube video and you're like, oh, that Darkest Dungeon looks really interesting. I'd totally play that. Or Binding of Isaac. That's a cool concept. Like, you don't think that you don't know what you're gonna get, which is a prominent feature of Dark Cloud and Dark Cloud 2. You don't know what you're gonna get. Like, the items are all randomized. Hell, even the building blocks you get for making, what's it called? The building blocks you get for repairing the towns, those are all randomized as well. Pretty sure I get a weapon called the Sun Rod, so I'm just gonna upgrade this. I'm not gonna actually try to level it up because it's a better version you get at the end of this dungeon, I think. This is just me going off of memory. Like, if I get screwed over, then I get screwed over, and I'm sorry you have to suffer through that, but I'm 95% sure there's a weapon that Ungaga gets at the end of the dungeon, because his progression path is like 2 dungeons. There's 3 dungeons left, this one included. We're halfway through this one, so I'm gonna have to start using items now, actually. Jesus, I still haven't found the key. I was way more lucky in the other one. But yeah, roguelikes were kind of a niche market, I think, which is why I think this game didn't really pan out for Sony. I mean, like, I don't want the other one to break, but I have a repair powder. It should be fine. Yeah, I'll switch to the halberd. Yeah, sorry. I just find it interesting when looking back. Is it an explosion? Ooh, a 9-foot nail. Or 5-foot nail. Wait, what's that? Critical. What's that do? Can I check that out? Let's try out the 9-foot nail. I don't know why he's slapping with it when it's a spiked weapon. But it has a good durability so far. Decent damage. critical effect is interesting. I didn't. Oh god, I'm dead. Oh boy. I need to go to another village because I don't think this shop's unlocked here. Let's go to Ruin. I have to drop off some items as well. But yeah, looking back to the genre, the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series was pretty popular, but recently kind of have been dropping. I don't really hear anyone talking about those games. Like at all, really. Yeah, it should be really good with all this. Oh yeah. Liquidize my assets. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I'd like to hear what others have to say about that. I kind of, I have a book in front of me where I was taking notes about roguelikes and all that, which is why I kind of had more thought on the process. So if you're wondering, like, oh, it seems like he's more structured than normal, it's because I am. I actually have a notebook. My notebook says Dark Cloud, first roguelike game that I've ever played, and then Pokemon Mystery Dungeon being the second one, and the more mainstream roguelike game that I've played. Okay. A lot of mage killers. I should be good. I need to level up more. I'll probably do some off screen, or air quote on screen, but like just talking. But yeah, I did a lot of randoming, but I'd like to think what you think about the idea of roguelikes. I kind of didn't finish my point, but the kind of running out of time. But it's kind of interesting to think about how the industry more or less killed roguelike, but then it kind of revitalized itself. Because again, as I said, like with YouTube and Twitch and all that, roguelikes kind of came back unofficially. Like, you know, you got Binding of Isaac, Darkest Dungeon. Those are the two that I really remember off the top of my head. There's most definitely way more than that. I just, as I said, don't know as much. But anyways, I'd like to thank y'all for watching. Hope you stick around for the next episode of Porn Session Thingy. I shall see you then. Bye-bye.